I welcome any help for all businesses through the Employment Wage Subsidy Scheme and through the COVID Restriction Support Scheme. Businesses suffered hugely through COVID-19, not knowing from one moment to the next what restrictions were being put in place or when the restrictions would be enacted. This government kept us all hanging on an edge, although they did, in fairness to them, leak to the press days before they actually announced any of these announcements that they were doing. So we have gone from Brexit to COVID-19 and now to a war. And again, our government are coming out with all kinds of rubbish, Minister. Last week, our group put in a motion for a mini-budget, which we ended up having last night. But then last week, of course, it was, our motion was for a mini-budget to ease the suffering of the people, puts us in the people who puts us in our jobs. And don't forget, Minister, they put you in your job too. The Minister for Finance, Pascal Donoghue, had the audacity to stand up here and slate each and every one of us. Now it's my turn to slate that Minister. How much has the Children's Hospital gone over budget? The hole in the ground, as we were well calling it at one time, where millions and millions and millions of euros were overspent on the budget, where you can't even land a helicopter. Minister Pascal Donoghue would badly want to close his mouth and listen to the people on the ground, people who understand the suffering that people are going through. And you're Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael being tail-wagged by the Greens. Minister, this minister has no notion of what the real life is going on out there. He stood here last week and tried to assassinate our characters. And in actual fact, the minister made a complete fool out of himself, because he continued to say that when we were asking for a lowering in the fuel consumption, he continued to refuse it. This bill provides for the COVID-19 recognition payment for the healthcare workers and won't be subject to tax. I'm surprised you won't be taxing them, but you sure will be getting it at the pumps anyway. As another member said here this morning, you're taxing the tax on the fuel. People who are working in the healthcare system want to know, Minister, when they are getting their €1,000. So you might clarify that, Minister, also. The bill also provides for the tax treatment of payments made under the proposed Brexit Whitefish Fleet decommissioning scheme. And let's be honest, the only reason this scheme is being introduced is because the Minister for Agriculture and the government sold out our fishermen in Brexit quota negotiations. This government have completely betrayed the Irish fishing sector with total quota losses of around 43 million per year. In overall terms, the government now want to decommission a large proportion of the Irish fleet to allow foreign-owned vessels to fish for our stock off our coast. Instead, yes, lads, we are giving it away to other countries, while our Irish boys are being told to decommission. Well done. Another rotten deal for the people of Ireland, like the way you're treating farmers and agriculture. And just in case you don't know, Minister, because you and your government are so far removed from reality, we had a fisherman on the radio the other day. Instead of heading out fishing this week, he tied up his boat, and I'll tell you why. The reason, Minister, it would have cost him 30,000 in fuel to catch a €27,000 quota, is what he was allowed fish. So he would have lost €3,000 if he went out during the week. And that's not taking into account the cost of staff and others. So it would have cost him maybe 15,000, 20,000 to go out. So the country is grinding to a halt, Minister. And you're sound asleep at the wheel. You haven't a clue. Absolutely clue. And I'm shocked at your councillors. I'm shocked at the Fine Gael councillors and the Fianna Fáil councillors. Forget about the Greens, because they're not with it. But the councillors from Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil are roaring and shouting on the ground, seeing as the TDs are out of touch, completely in La La Land. Surely be to God, the councillors are in touch somewhat with the ground, or maybe they're not. I'm beginning to think that. This bill is supposed to help businesses who have suffered through the pandemic. But with the carry-on of this government, you will put the final nail in the coffin. You are telling us you will reduce the cost of fuel 15 and 20 cents and 2 cents, imagine 2 cents for the farm industry, and nothing at all for the person at home trying to heat their homes. How is this going to help? We all know the price of fuel is rapidly rising. You had your chance. We gave you months. We're at it for months in here. We pleaded with you not to introduce the carbon tax. Push it aside, push it out the door, push it to do something. And he laughed across the way. Eamon Ryan tells us his advice is to slow down driving. I think he told people today that'll save your fuel. My God, have you any understanding of the amounts of emails, the amount of anger that's out there? The country is on the verge of an absolute revolution, and you sit there idly by, quite happy to let it happen. You're a shame to the name politics in this country, because politicians should be there to work and help with their people, and you failed Fianna Fáil and you failed Fine Gael. Forget the Greens, because they don't care. That's their agenda, and you've worked your way into their agenda.